According to the schema and the way to denormalize information inside Cassandra, the most important thing that has to be reminded is that since data are distributed, no joins are possible inside the DHT. So it is recommended to merge data from tables in order to have more efficient queries inside the system. What is recommended for Cassandra is a conception based on most frequent queries. But if you have many frequent queries, you have a problem. So DataStax recommend you to produce for each top query inside your system a new table. So it can be dangerous just because you have many redundancy inside the system and you can have a huge volume of data corresponding to what you want inside your system. One other view is to focus on the biggest dimension inside the system in numbers of rows, of course. So this way to distribute data and to merge information is better for distribution, but at any time it will produce redundancy. Give some example of queries. For instance, you can have for each given flight, we want the list of hostesses. So what we have seen before is a response to this kind of query. But we can see also for a given hostess, we want to see all her flights. That can be a problem just because we need in the previous way to query every flight to see if the hostess is inside the list. We can provide a new schema in order to answer to this kind of query. But it can be dangerous in the term of updates inside the system. How to properly nest data? For this we have a Chebotko who has provided a methodology in order to provide a denormalizing schema. So it's a query-driven methodology. It defines the access pattern to the tables and then create the merge according to this access pattern. So the most important thing is to choose the proper query in order to denormalize. As I said previously, another way to do it is to focus on the biggest dimension. It provides less updates, it provides better distribution, more compatibility for schemas. But of course, in this site, the data model can be more complex to use or to manipulate. Here we can have an example of the Chebotko diagram. For instance, you have different tables here. You have the flight, hostess, and the link between the flight between hostesses and the hostesses themselves, the pilot and co-pilot, and the airports. And we can see that we can have some kind of list of hostesses, types inside the flight here in order to have the code of the airport and the name and the country inside, in which we can have the information according to the flight. For the pilot and co-pilot, it's only information according to the identifier. When we need the information according to the pilot, you provide a new query. Again, for the hostesses, we don't want to make this join between the list of hostesses for a flight and the hostesses. So we nest the information so we have the list of hostesses, and then for each ID that we have inside this list, we can make a query in order to have the information according to the name and the first name and last name of the hostess.